Good morning, grand rising, and blessings to each of you who are here on Humanity Healing. And wherever you are around the world, I offer you blessings of peace, light, and love. It's an interesting morning here on the southwest coast of Maine. We're in a place of high humidity and heat, which is not very usual for us. It's welcomed on many levels, but it's far less than what other people are enduring around the world with fires and extreme heat. And so I offer my heartfelt presence to each of you around the world to help you with all that you're going through right now. And today's topic is hearts rising in gratitude. And we all might say, how can we be grateful in this time of challenge, in this time of reflection of who we are and where we're headed as humanity? What is our evolutionary process? And what does it mean to leave a paradigm and create ourselves in another? What are all of these terms that we're being faced with now that are all scientific and created by people who just seem to want to change everything without asking or without respecting who we are? And they've created an ideology of what humanity is to look like in the future, and they have completely disregarded us. And I say that not to bring it in as negativity, but to bring us back to a place where we are supposedly to be safe. That's in our hearts. And what's been playing out around the world lately for me, as I witness it, I see people's hearts very damaged. And that heart damage is not something that you can go to the doctor and get repaired. It's not something you can take a pill tomorrow and in 3 days it'll be gone. It's a deeper illness. It's an illness that is a sense of loss. It's a deeper feeling of insecurity, of questioning, of not being able to make decisions that are in alignment with the highest potential for each one of us, both individually and collectively. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Terry. And so today's talk, as I woke up late, I've been doing that lately. I just filled out a bunch of words on a sheet of paper and it typed them out. So the order is a little scattered. And that's how we are right now. We're a little scattered. And we're doing things and we're not understanding why. We get angry, we get frustrated, we're hurt easier. All of these energies we're dealing with. And as we've talked over the weeks about different things, yes, there are definitely reasons. There's physical reasons, there's energetic reasons, there's cosmic reasons, there's all kinds of reasons. But the reasons don't make it easier for us to move through. And so what we're experiencing really is an evolution of humanity. And the only way that I see, and I'm guided to see this, thankfully, is the only way we're going to rise is through our hearts. And we have to let go of stuff that we didn't even know we had. And it's not so much that we're doing anything um, personally wrong. We've been entrained to do things in certain ways according to society and whatever society we're in, according to religions, according to teachings, um, according to the old ways that we were taught. And right now we're at this point of a shifting paradigm. And I know people probably get sick of hearing that and they don't understand what it means. And I posted a picture the other day that basically we're at this point that they call it the strategic inflection point. On the picture reminded me that as we go around this circle and we're back to the top. And we have this opportunity to either go around it again or to change and create a new circle, a new paradigm, and move into that new paradigm or continue to go around the circle that we're on. And what we have is leadership in the world that is very self inflected and powerful. And they have assumed that they know what is best for us as individuals. And unfortunately, their behavior over the past hundreds of years has not been one of, um, what would I call it? Not demanding the highest esteem that we could give them. And slowly but surely, they are devouring themselves, is what they're doing. And that process is going to go on for a while. So, in this process, what does that create for us? It creates disturbance because when we look to our leadership, we want some advice. This is, we've been told that, this is good for everybody. And yet, what we've seen has happened, it's divided us rather than brought us together. So, this is gratitude, and our hearts are what is going to bring us back together. The coming together of our energy, the coming together of our sovereignty, of our spiritual beingness, of our higher collective wisdom, that we don't need human governance over, that human governance actually interferes with the communication system of between us and our higher self. Call it our holy self, call it whatever you want. These are all words and names in human language that have no bearing once we're out of that. And the only way out of our human experience is through our hearts. The heart is the key. It's the gateway, it's the doorway. And we have to heal our hearts first. And as we do that through many different methods, and each one of you, I'm sure, are practicing some kind of um, way to bring yourself into being calm and uh, whole. You're thinking more about your health now because we have this virus running around, and you're thinking more about your safety and you're thinking more about your relationship with others, and you're finding all of these points that are flaring up. You find these things that are, I'll call them inflammations. You're not alone. Everyone on this planet is going through this. Doesn't matter what language you speak, doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter whether you have hair or you don't have hair, doesn't matter whether you're male or female. Every human on this planet is going through this because Mother Earth is going through this as well. We are part of Mother Earth. As much as we like to think we're not, as much as we like to think that we can just take any part of Mother Earth and do whatever we want with it and not respect what it's doing to Mother Earth, we are this oneness, this one planet Earth. Just like when we look at the moon, it's one moon. Everything on it is part of the moon. We are not as separate as we have been taught. We've not been as separate as many people would like us to be. So we're all reaching this point of being emotionally overwhelmed. And many of us don't know what direction to go in. And the separation and the anger and the frustration is rising, as is the temperature of the planet, as fire. When you look around the planet, it's fire. What is the element that is really being, we're having an increase of fire. And on the other end, the water is being destroyed. It's being destroyed. It's being filthied. And without water, without clean water, we're in very serious situation. So that's the negative side and the positive side put together. And how do we collectively start to come out of this? The key is, as I've said in many talks, is to come back within your heart. Come back into that, not just a physical heart, but that heart we think of, the beautiful little heart, the love. Come back into love. And the first person we need to love is right here. It's right here. And we need to set time in every day to be with ourselves. Whether you meditate or sing or do something positive for yourself, the key is to be with yourself without interruptions. Make space and time. Whether you go out in nature for a walk, whether you're in a big city, find a park, create a space in your own home, be it an altar or some flowers or something that is peaceful, that represents peace and harmony. And go sit there. Go sit there and, offer prayers, do meditation, listen to music. Do something that is beneficial for you. It's sort of like taking yourself out to lunch. Create a space where you can take yourself and not be disturbed. and allow yourself to flow. At first, it's a challenge. And sometimes all of these negative things come up. The key is when the negative things come up, is to write them down. Create a journal of the things that positive and negative come up. And realize that when we carry all of this in our minds, we think about it and then dismiss it and go on about it, and then the next day it comes back, the next day it comes back, so it's always there. What we have to do is start practicing removing stuff from the head and putting it down somewhere else so that we can look at it from a different perspective. Whenever we look at things from within our heads, we have to remember that the frequencies of the world right now are such that we are being fed energies that are distortion. They're a distortion. And when we think we're thinking, that distortion is present. So we need to get it out of the distortion and put it into writing, where we can look at it from a different point. And then we can make choices as to, does this continue? Am I going to continue this, or am I going to get rid of this? We're getting rid of the pain, the trauma, the suffering that we've endured our entire lives, because we cannot take it with us into a new paradigm. It will not go through the process. And if we try to bring it with us, we will be the ones who suffer. And we can point the finger at everybody else around us. Well, this day, blah, blah. But if we don't get rid of the trauma within us and come to peace with that and let it go and say, this is no longer needed within me, and it does not align within the new paradigm. We're planning to move into that new paradigm. For those of you who follow me and understand, you know what I'm talking about. For some of you who may are being confused by this, it's okay. Because it's the awareness of the source of who we are in truth and light and love that is more important than who we are in this physical world. And it's like the caterpillar has to shift and change to become the butterfly. So do we. This is the process. This is the process. It comes into itself, it melts into itself, changes and becomes liquid, and then comes out. This is the shifting of paradigms. But we're doing it as a collective humanity. We're all little caterpillars, each one of us. And we're all going to be beautiful butterflies in the new paradigm. But it's the pain and suffering that the caterpillar endured has to be melted down and left behind. So too, we have to make choices now that are not going to be easy, And this is why I encourage writing them down and looking at those and realizing that if we do not take the time to do this, we're just going to flip flop, float around, and continue the cycle. We're going to extend the length of time that this cycle we're going through. We are amazing beings. We have more, as we come together as a collective and focus on the future, we have more power than all of their technology. Technology relies on a power system that humans created. We are the ones, we are the humans who created that. We are the creators of that power system. We have more power. We just can't use it in the same way. They're using their power to control a world that is manufactured. It's our power that has the control within the natural world. And this is what they've taught us that we can't do. And so this is what part of what we're going through, the hearts rising in gratitude, are tapping into. When we are grateful, we open the gateways of our hearts for this energy system that we are. This power plant, this nuclear reactor, whatever you want to look at yourself as. And when we start to tap into it little by getting rid of all of the crap that's in its way so that it can be activated and focused on and directed and sent for the good of everyone, for the transition of us to move out of this old paradigm and into a future one that our future generations will be healthy and well in without robots and chemicals. We'll be back in a natural pattern. Let us take a moment right here, right now, and just take a deep breath. Let us come to know in our hearts that we are moving. We are moving forward in our evolutionary process. That we are collectively in tune with each other, always. We're not conscious of it all the time, but the energy affects us. And that our responsibility now is to look within ourselves at our own energy and see where it's being triggered, be it positively or negatively. And to be in a state of gratitude, a thankfulness that we have the power to witness both positive and negative and not be sucked into them. That there's a part of us that is connected to a higher energy, an energy field that the whole universe works with. And when we tap into that universal frequency, doesn't matter what name we put on it or how we vision it. What's important is that we recognize this larger field of energy that is already in motion. It's already in motion, shifting what we call paradigms. Because that's the nature, the quantum nature, if you will, of all living presence. See that new circle of life, if you will. Vision it as a circle beginning to take shape. Right now, it's just a slight curve. This is where we are, leaving the old circle. If you want to look at it as a figure eight at this point, we just went through the 8-8 gate. So we're just coming up into that loop. And it's all new. It's brilliant. It's filled with light. It's filled with love. It's balanced. Its harmonic frequencies have not been messed with. It's pure. And in this moment, feel gratitude. Feel grateful to be able to see this, to visualize. To visualize that even if what you see is not in human forms, know that this is the greater whole that we are a part of. And this is what the gratitude is about, is to know that from our hearts, when we visualize the future, we have a choice to visualize it not as death and destruction, not as failure, not as calamity and trauma, but brilliant, brilliant light. Set your sights on the new paradigm. Set your sights within your heart. Whatever comes up that needs to be released, be brave enough to release it, and release it with love. You know, we've been love your enemies. Don't think of them as enemies. Just think of them as beings who are lost souls, lost within themselves, and who don't know how to do anything other than create negative energy. It's not our job now to worry about them. It's not our job to carry their wounds, how we've been wounded by them. It's our responsibility now to get rid of all of this and move forward. The answers will come the further along we move. The further we move into that upward curve, into the new paradigm, the wisdom will be there. It's already there. It's already within us. It's within our genetic presence to evolve. Be willing. Be willing to honor yourself and love yourself enough to say to yourself, I can do this. And I can do this not just for myself, but I'm doing this for the future generations. Because I want them to experience the wonder and the beauty of co-creating the new paradigm together in oneness, not in separation. The paradigm of separation is over. And for those who can't let go, that will be their suffering. And I honor them and I love them as much as I love each of you that come and appear each week. And I'm going to read a message I wrote yesterday for the Global Heart Team. It's called Heart Wonder. We are upheld within our hearts, gently creating a field of wonder. Not just slightly different from our external world. It is one that is filled with joy and peace and gratitude. Within this world of wonder and magic, we are free to explore without limits, offering so many possibilities for ourselves and others. Let us pause here for as long as we can, knowing that this is a place of true loving kindness. A retreat from the world around you, around us, that is so very distorted. And an opportunity to awaken to our infinite possibilities. Bless you and your infinite possibilities. I'm looking forward to you sharing your infinite possibilities with the world. As I also share my infinite possibilities with the world. And yes, many of it will fall on deaf ears, and many times will be ridiculed, And many times we'll be thrown into the field of anger, rising anger in others. The key to remember right now is gratitude. Be grateful for who you are. Be grateful for the power that you wield in this physical body that you don't even understand yet, but will, as each one of us get rid of all of the baggage, all of the energy that no longer is needed, the energy that sucks the life and the light out of us. There's no blame here. It's just looking at reality and saying, I don't need this anymore. I am a sovereign being of peace, light, and love. May that message rest in your hearts. May what I have said this morning in its sort of jumbled up way perhaps find a lodging point within you to encourage you to go deeper, to dig deeper and get rid of all of that crud, all of that crap. It's not easy. It hurts. We'll cry. We'll get angry. But whatever it takes, it's the only way to move into the new paradigm, because it can't exist there. There is no energy to support it there. It isn't a personal problem. It's a matter of our evolution as humanity. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. Each one of us have the opportunity to choose the new paradigm, however you want to express that. But know that all of this crap that we're going through right now cannot exist there. It's impossible. There is nothing to feed it there. Bless you all and thank you. And I'll read your messages as I close and answer and send love to each and every one of you and ask you to continue your journey. Yeah, I know many of you are being challenged just as I am. I'm not any different. It's just that I can see around that curve. The curve has begun. For some of you, you're right at just that strategic inflection point, they call it. For me, I'm already moving into the new paradigm. The gateway we just went through offered that opportunity for many of us to make that curve. And as we do that and we look back, we realize that there's something to look back on. So for those of you who are just beginning the journey, know that there are many of us who are further ahead than I am in this, and further, it's not a contest, it's not a race. Each one of us have our own personal energies to deal with. Deal with them. Find that quiet space, write them down, let them go. Send them off with love. Like old clothes. We don't need them anymore. They don't fit. They don't fit. Thank you, my guides. It's like old clothes. They just don't fit. For that, I'll let you be. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful moment. May each of your moments be filled with peace, light, and